Ahab abuses his power further when he begins to covet the vineyard of his neighbor, Naboth. Ahab offers a fair price for the vineyard, but Naboth regards the land as an ancestral inheritance and says he has no interest in selling at any price. Ahab dejectedly accepts this appropriate limitation of his power, but his wife Jezebel spurs him to tyranny. "Do you now govern Israel?" she taunts, 1 Kings 21 verse 7. If the king has no appetite for abuse of power, the queen does. She pays 2 scoundrels to bring a false charge of blasphemy and treason against Naboth, and he is quickly sentenced to death and stoned by the elders of the city. We are left to wonder why the elders acted so quickly, without even conducting a proper trial. Were they complicit with the king? Under his control, afraid of standing up to him? In any case, with Naboth out of the way, Ahab takes possession of the vineyard for himself. Abuse of power, including land grabs as blatant as Ahab's, continue today, as a glance at nearly any daily newspaper will confirm. And as in Ahab's time, abuse of power requires the complicity of others who would rather tolerate injustice, even murder, than risk their own safety for the sake of their neighbors. Only Elijah, the man of God, dares to oppose Ahab, 1 Kings 21 verses 17 to 24. Although his protests can do nothing to help Naboth, Elijah's opposition does curb Ahab's abuse of power, and no further abuses are recorded in Kings prior to Ahab's death. More often than we might expect, principled opposition by a small group or even a single individual can restrain the abuse of power. Otherwise, why would leaders go to so much trouble to hide their misdeeds? What do you estimate is the likelihood that you will become aware of at least one misuse of power in your working life? How are you preparing yourself to respond if you do?
The Bible is very specific and true. It says there's nothing new under the sun. What has happened in the past will happen again. This is why the Bible is the most powerful book in the world today. Anything problem you have in life, you can refer to the Bible for an example of something that happened in the past that is happening now today. The story of King Ahab, Jezebel, and Naboth is a clear example of the abuse of power of persons in positions of authority, whether they came by that position by birthright or by voting, as we vote in elections, and put the power in the hands of a few. These persons that we put in positions of power can decide to abuse the power that we, the people of Ghana, have given them. And I like to equate these Bible stories to what is happening in Ghana and what happens in Ghana when we, the people of Ghana, through the democratic process of voting, give the power to a few people to manage the country of Ghana on our behalf, and how with impunity these persons we give the power to actually end up being the people that abuse the people and the position they've been given. They do things with impunity, and it's becoming endemic. It is becoming endemic in Ghana. These illegal land grabs, illegal property demolitions, and the people behind most of these illegalities are people who are abusing their positions of power. We've heard the words of Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa of the new. We've heard the words of Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, and his private members bill that he's putting together. as we speak in July 2024, because he is afraid that if politicians carry on the way they are carrying on in abusing their power, especially when it comes to land grabs, sometimes our leaders actually hide behind certain surrogates. They put other people to do things on their behalf. But when you look behind the covers, you realize that the case goes back to a certain politically exposed individual who is in a position of power because the people of Ghana have given them that position through the voting system and elected them to that position, and they're taking advantage of the people. And if we look at the chaos that has gone on recently in several African countries, the latest being Kenya, and the fact that we have video recordings of politicians in the Kenyan government who are admitting that they have abused their positions of power and are now making recordings that they're going to give back what they've stolen back to the people of Ghana, and they're going to forfeit it voluntarily because they've realized that they've done wrong to the people. This is the way the world is going now. There has to be accountability and probity shown by our leaders to us, the people. In this recording, I'm going to focus on what has happened with Mr. George Oti Bonsu, New Patriotic Party, NPP, financier, versus Samira Baumia, the Second Lady of Ghana, the wife of Vice President Mamudu, Vice President Dr. Mamudu Baumia. I'm going to focus on Samira Baumia, the Second Lady of Ghana, and her brother Abu Ramadan, and what they've done against Mr. George Oti Bonsu in trying to initiate a land grab concerning the property belonging to Mr. George Oti Bonsu. And I would like to show the similarities between King Ahab and Jezebel and how they initiated a land grab against Naboth. The reason why I'm putting together this recording is because I was talking to a New Patriotic Party delegate and saying that what has happened with Mr. George Oti Bonsu, his property in East Legon being illegally demolished by thugs who masquerade themselves as soldiers of Ghana and police of Ghana and persons with power. Yes, they were sent by the brother of the Second Lady of Ghana, who is vying to become the First Lady of Ghana because her husband, Vice President Mamudu, Vice President Dr. Mamudu Baumia, is vying to become the President of Ghana come 7 December 2024. He's vying for election as President of Ghana come December 7th, 2024. And we have to look at whether us voting for such people who abuse power with impunity in land grabs will benefit Ghana at large. I was talking to this new patriotic party delegate, and I said, what is going on with the illegal demolition of the properties, the 10 properties in East Legon of Mr. George Otibonsu, the MPP, New Patriotic Party financier, is very, very wrong. And this delegate said to me that, oh, it is not true. The story that the story that is going around, that is being spoken by Mr. George Otibonsu himself. He's the one that's going around. He's the one that's calling the press conferences and bringing the chiefs, the guard chiefs who sold the property to him, to testify that they sold it to him alone, and the documents of Samira Baumia's family are fake and fraudulent. He's the one that's calling the press conferences and showing the documents, printing the documents, making them available to both journalists and bloggers online. It's Mr. George Otibonsu, the New Patriotic Party financier, that is making all this information public and available to the public. So if you tell me that Mr. George Otibonsu, who is not the person attacking, illegally demolishing someone's property, but he's the one that's defending his properties and his rights as a citizen of Ghana. If you, as a delegate of the New Patriotic Party, are saying that what Mr. George Otibonsu is saying is not true, I beg to differ. And we, the people, the citizens of Ghana, beg to differ. When you are the victim of crime, you know what it feels like to be the victim of crime. It's almost heartbreaking. Many people have died from shock and the sorrow of being a victim, because when they look everywhere for help, they can't even get help. And you, as a delegate of the New Patriotic Party, can stand somewhere because you are so partisan in your thinking that your party can do no wrong. And there's a saying, you cannot be wrong and be strong. So your party is wrong and strong. Your party, New Patriotic Party, is trying to be wrong and strong, and it cannot work. You are now calling Mr. George Otibonsu a liar. The victim is a liar now, because he's standing up for the truth. Look, people say you can have your truth and I can have my truth, but there's nothing like that. There's only one truth. There is only one truth. And the truth of the matter is that Mr. George Otibonsu is the one defending his property, because he's the one that's been attacked by thugs sent by Abu Ramadan, the brother of Samira Baumia, to demolish his properties. Yes. So he's got a right to defend his properties, both in court and in making it public that this is what is going on behind doors. So if you stand somewhere because you support a certain party, and this is the problem we're having in Ghana here, people value the party more than the individuals who make up the party. And we've got democracy wrong in Africa. Yes, we value the party more than the individuals who make up the party. But in more advanced democracies in Europe and in America, they value the people that make up the party more than the party itself. And in reality, it's the people that make the party, not the party that makes the people. The same thing can be said even for Christendom. When you have a church, the church is not the building itself or the organization, the church, whatever that name can be, whether it's Catholic, Anglican, Presbyterian, Methodist, Charismatic, it is not the church itself that is the church. Even the Bible specifies that the church are the individuals that make up the church, is the people that make up the church. Because even Jesus said, he said, the kingdom of God is neither here nor there. It's in you. So it's the Spirit of God that is in the people that make up the church. So the building is just a building where people meet. The power is in the people. The children of God are the containers of the power. So if you stand somewhere because you are party first, people next mentality, like this new patriotic party delegate, and say Mr. Otibonsu is a liar when he's the victim, then what are you trying to say? I beg to differ. Mr. Otibonsu is telling the truth, and he has provided evidence that can be checked from all angles. He has provided evidence that can be checked from all angles. And in life, there's a saying that in life is mathematics. It must add up. And fortunately for Mr. George Otibonsu, his paperwork and his documentation and his testimony adds up. And unfortunately for Abu Ramadan and Samira Baomia's family, their story does not add up. 2 Corinthians 13 verse 8 says, you can do nothing. 2 Corinthians 13 verse 8 says, you can do nothing against the truth, but only for the truth. Truth is one, and you can do nothing against it. So when these people have abused power, like King Ahab, so let's equate Samira Baomia's family, the second lady of Ghana's family, to King Ahab and Jezebel. Okay? Because that's what their actions suggest, that they are carrying the same spirits of King Ahab and Jezebel. So, because the King Ahab was so desperate to buy the vineyard owned by Naboth in the Bible, he offered him a fair price. So initially he offered to buy it, but Naboth rejected the offer because he said, my property is an ancestral inheritance. So maybe my father or my grandfather handed it down, and I'm not going to give it up. I'm not interested in your money. No amount of money you have is interesting to me for me to sell. I listened to this MPP, New Patriotic Party delegate. He said, the story of Mr. Otibonsu is not true because Samira Baumia and Vice President Baumia and Samira Baumia are wealthy. They can buy any land they want to buy in Ghana and in Accra, the capital of Ghana. And I'm here to set the record straight with that New Patriotic Party delegate and let him know that it doesn't matter the amount of money that a person has. It doesn't mean that they'll be able to buy the land or purchase the land that they desire if the current owner of the land refuses to sell it to them. It is not the money you have that will determine what land you can purchase. In Accra or Ghana as a whole, or anywhere in the world, it is not your money, the amount of money you have, that will determine whether you can buy it. It depends on whether the people you're trying to buy the property from want to sell the property. And clearly, in this instance in the Bible, Naboth did not want to sell the property. So, Jezebel, the wife of King Ahab, decided that she was going to hire some people to bring up false charges against Naboth. And you stand on that, kill him, unalive him. Yes, unalive Naboth, so that there will be no person to defend the property that her husband, King Ahab, desired. And as a result, they can just grab the land with no opposition, because dead people can't speak. And that's what Jezebel did. Jezebel connived with people and came up with a plan to do evil, criminal acts. Evil is, as when you do spiritually, when you do something wrong, is considered evil, but in the physical realm is considered a crime. So she connived with people to facilitate a crime and devised false charges and stood on that to kill, to unalive Naboth, so that King Ahab could have access to the property without any challenge from the true owners of the property. This is what is going on in Ghana today. All the prime lands in the prime areas of Ghana, many of them have been illegally possessed, illegally demolished and illegally possessed, to the extent that they've extended their illegal acts to properties belonging to embassies of other countries like the Nigerian High Commission and the Bulgarian Embassy, to demolishing these properties. And when you peel the covers and you look and look and look and look, it always goes back to a politically exposed individual who is ultimately benefiting from these illegal acts. They go to the extent of changing and putting false documents in the Lands Commission, because they connive with officials in the Lands Commission. They even go to the extent of conniving with certain judges. There are so many allegedly conniving with certain judges, so that when you go to court, they frustrate the true owners of the property. Yes, and eventually find a way to frustrate the person to the extent that they take the property of the person. Something that is so simple, and the evidence is clear that this property does not belong to this individual. They will make a long-winded meal of it all, costing you money, time, just wasting your time. When the thing is blue, they'll say it's green. They'll pretend as though they haven't seen, because untoward things are going on. Bribery and corruption is going on at the back door. Behind the back, there's some collusion going on against the true owners. This is what's going on in Ghana. That's why cases can last 5-10 years. Why should it take 5-10 years? It's simple. If you claim the property belongs to you, bring your paperwork to the court. Let's get it forensically analyzed. And whoever's paper stands the test of time is the true owner of the property. Yeah. And this is how it goes. You can't use brute force to take someone's land and expect the person to sit there. Look, the reason why the election 2024 that's going to take place on December 7th is going to be so polarized is because what is going on in this country is wrong. There were people doing land grabs under ex-President John Mahama. And those land grab matters from ex-President Mahama's time many thousands have not been resolved to date. And President Udio has been in power for almost 8 years. Those issues from Mahama's time, the previous land grab issues, are still outstanding. They haven't been resolved to date, many of them. And then you're going to add the land grab issues that have emerged under the new Patriotic Party under Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, President of Ghana. So, on two fronts, Ghana is down in the dumps when it comes to land grabs, especially in the capital city of Accra. It is endemic. This land grab issue has become endemic in this country. This land grab issue is certainly unbecoming, has become unbecoming. And to think somebody has taken their hard-earned money and bought a land for themselves and their family, because when they leave it to their family. And some criminal will go behind the back and with impunity come and just demolish somebody's property, come and take illegal possession of somebody's property, attack people, beat people, even kill people. Look at what happened in Kaswa. Unalive people, even unalive people. Look at what happened in Kaswa with a soldier that got murdered in cold blood by Ben Lord, a so-called land guard or thug. Yes, a so-called. And you think the people of Ghana are going to sit down and vote for you to come to power to abuse us? Under ex-President Mahama or Vice President Baumia, NDC MPP. They always talk about how they're going to come to power and they're going to do justice for the people. But when they come to power, they turn their backs on the people. That's what they've been doing for the last 32 years, NPP and NDC. And New Patriotic Party and National Democratic Congress. For the last 32 years, they've been abusing their powers that the people of Ghana have given to them through the election process and taking advantage of us, playing us for fools. And they think we, the people of Ghana, are going to vote for them to come to power, to come and abuse us further. Look, the abuser has realized that you are abusing them, and they're not going to stand for abuse anymore. We, the people of Ghana, want accountability, probity, and we want the people who are behind these crimes to be jailed. Look, land grabs are not civil matters. They are criminal matters. Let's put them in the right category. Because of our culture here in Ghana, where somebody does evil or criminal acts, and they run to certain peoples in positions of authority, whether they are other politicians, maybe they are attached to a certain political party, so they run to their leaders for help. And their leaders give these criminals a cover. Yes, or they run to some certain chief. And in Ghana's tradition, if somebody runs to a chief and the chief calls the matter, or the elder calls the matter, even if you are the victim, because of the respect you have for the elder, you must acquiesce I mean, when we were children, when an adult speaks trash or does something that is wrong to a minor, they will tell the minor to apologize to the older person. I mean, we've got all twisted in this country. They will tell the minor who is in the right to apologize to the elder, the adult who's in the wrong, or the older person who's in the wrong. I mean, how can this work? This is why the country is upside down and where the country is in turmoil. Ghana is in turmoil. We are bleeding because our leaders are abusing their powers. So we have people who have got King Ahab-like tendencies, whether they are NDC or MPP, with wives who have got Jezebel tendencies. Look, if we vote these people who abuse power into positions of authority, and they come and lord it over us and abuse us further, step all over us, we the citizens of Ghana, with impunity, take over our properties, our inheritances that our families have handed down to us. They step all over our dignity, our properties, and just do what they like because we have put them there. Are you expecting the people of Ghana not to fight back? Look at what happened in Kenya. Look, Ghana is getting to boiling point. And our leaders better sit up and shape up. Because nobody is going to sit down for people to abuse their positions of authority, or positions of power, to abuse their power that we the people have given them to our detriment. Look, if the judicial service or the judicial system will not support the truth and will not be up and doing and make sure justice results from these land grab issues, which are blatantly clear that there are politically exposed persons behind it. If our judicial system of Ghana is not working, is failing us, what are you expecting the people to do? Ghana should be expecting Kenya to result, because the people cannot take it anymore. When water gets to a certain level and it becomes full, it begins to overflow and pour out in many angles. When the anger of the citizens of Ghana gets to overflow, Kenya number 2 will happen in Ghana. People shouldn't think that, this will never happen in Ghana. You can't keep abusing your positions of power and expect people to be humble, be cool about it. No one is going to be cool about it. We will defend ourselves. So the judicial system is our last refuge, because when the police fail us, the soldiers fail us because they work with these politically exposed persons to our detriment, the citizens' detriment, then our last refuge is the judiciary. So if the judiciary too fail us, then we will defend ourselves. Yes. The people of Ghana will defend themselves. We don't want things to get to that level. So the judiciary should be up and doing. Yes. This is what must happen in Ghana here, for there to be accountability and probity. We need it. We need it. That is why, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, we don't need to go back and vote these two parties, MPP, New Patriotic Party, and NDC, National Democratic Congress. They've got nothing to offer. They've had 32 years to offer their best, and they've offered their worst. Let's go for an independent candidate. I don't care whether Alan Martin is from New Patriotic Party, NPP. That is not the issue. Let's look at the content, the character of Alan John Kwadwo Kyerematen while he was in New Patriotic Party, NPP. You cannot tag him with corruption in any way, shape, or form. Any corrupt person who was working with Alan, when Alan found out they were corrupt, he removed them from his area, from his dealings. He stopped dealing with these people directly. This is a man of integrity. We need a leader with integrity who will unite the country and the people of Ghana. And his proposal of a unity government is perfect for an emerging democracy in Africa. This is the way Africa can develop when we take the best of every party, political party, and the best individuals from the country to make up the government. And everybody is everybody's keeper, because the whole idea of a unity party is that we are all each other's keeper, because persons from New Patriotic Party will be working with persons from National Democratic Congress. Persons who are from neither these parties will also be working with these people. So if something is going wrong in terms of somebody is doing something untoward, something criminal, something corrupt, something to do with bribery, the other persons who are not politically aligned with them will expose them. So we need, as God said to Cain, what have you done? When Cain had the intentions of unaliving Abel, God asked him that. He said, sin is at your door. Yes. And then when God asked him, where is your brother Abel? He said, am I my brother's keeper? This is the problem that is troubling Ghana. We are not our brother's keeper. We don't keep an eye on each other to make sure we're all doing the right thing. Everybody just cares about themselves. People say things like, it's not my concern. Yes, it's not your concern. But when people keep doing crimes like land grabs, they will grab every property in the whole of Accra. There's going to come a time, if this land grab menace keeps going on, there's going to come a time when the whole of Accra will be owned by 5 or 6 people, because they will illegally demolish and illegally take possession of property after property after property until they end up coming to your property where you live in Accra and taking over your property. Yes, and you have nobody to defend you, because you didn't defend the people who were victims of the illegal property grabs, land grabs, illegal possessions, illegal demolitions. You didn't defend people. So we have to be each other's keeper. If Ghana is going to rise again, if Ghana is going to become a great nation again, each of us has to be each other's keeper. When you see that somebody is doing something that you know is criminal, we're all journalists today. We have cameras. Go and hide somewhere so that they won't come and take your camera off you or your phone off you. Video it. Video it as evidence, because the only things that are admissible in court are evidence and facts. So when someone is doing crime and you feel you cannot intervene because you might be attacked or killed, hide somewhere and video it. That is what we as citizens must do. We must be each other's keeper. Ghanaians must be each other's keeper, and we cannot continue. The Bible says, do you think it is you can continue in sin and expect grace to abound? Ghana cannot continue in sin and expect grace to abound. It's going to get to a level that people will be fed up and things will not go the way that will bring peace. We want peace. We are a people of peace. But we're not going to stand there to be abused and discarded. Let's all unite for the best for Ghana. I urge everybody who's listening to this to vote for Alan John Kwadwo Martin, whose moniker is the butterfly, Afrafranto. He is the one that can help Ghana. And if you listen to several men of God, they said, the one that doesn't have a family is the one carrying the sword that is given to you when you become the president of Ghana. The one that is carrying it does not have a family. And this man of God, I've studied him over years. Nana Kwanten Amanfo. He's such a great man of God. His words are cutting and true, and they come to pass eventually. He said, the one that's carrying that is the chosen one. The one that's carrying the sword that is given to you when you are made president, does not have a family. That means he's talking about Alan John Kwadwo Martin. Anybody who has got the wisdom of God and can discern what this man of God is speaking in code. But let's make it plain. He's saying that it's Alan John Kwadwo Martin that has got is the chosen one. But unfortunately, because of manipulations, evil criminal manipulations, he has been thrown out of the party that he was in and the vehicle, the family that he could have used to easily become the president of Ghana. And because Ghanaians believe that the party is more important than the individual in democracy, most Ghanaians will vote for the party as opposed to the individual who's best for the country. And this is what is going to lead to sufferings. The next 4 years are going to be 4 more wasted years, 4 more years of suffering. Oh yeah, whether New Patriotic Party under Vice President Dr. Bawumia or National Democratic Congress under ex-President Mahama come to power, we are just going to suffer and suffer and suffer. Because you know why? They are not the chosen ones. They don't have the key. They don't know what to do. They don't have the wherewithal. And if you don't have the wherewithal, you're not going to make it. We're going to have 4 more wasted years. It is a strong warning, and it's going to happen because we have not matured as a democracy to choose the character of the leaders over the party. Yes. To choose the character of the leaders, which is, we need a leader with integrity. Unfortunately, the 2 main parties, the duopoly in Ghana, unfortunately, their leaders and their parties have got question marks on integrity. Yeah, there are question marks on the integrity. I mean, many people say Vice President Bawumia does not tell the truth. He's making so many promises and he knows he can't deliver. I saw a video from a few years ago where Vice President Bawumia was promising that PayPal will be available in Ghana shortly. Years have passed. 2-3 years has passed. PayPal is not available in Ghana. At that time, Nigeria didn't have PayPal. But now Nigeria has PayPal and Ghana still hasn't got PayPal. And years have passed. So all these are failed, broken promises. Promises that are mere air. There's no substance to it. So if somebody promises you something and doesn't deliver, and they come again and promise you again, will you believe them? This is the situation with Vice President Bawumia. And for integrity, question mark. Yeah, because if you can do what you are doing to Mr. George Otibonsu, New Patriotic Party financier, because you are in a position of power, you and your family are abusing him. And Mr. Otibonsu has gone to everybody, to the leadership of the country. Yeah, he came on Net2 TV some weeks back. He said he has been to President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo with all his documentation, and he has spoken to him about what has been done, the injustice that has been done to him in his properties, in the illegal demolition of his properties, and the fraudulent attempt to annex his properties, 10 properties in East Legon. He has gone and he has spoken to the chairman of the New Patriotic Party. He has sat with him. He has sat to all the people he needs to sit with concerning this abuse of power. But everybody is quiet because they desperately want to win the election using a candidate who is not befitting. Yes. The Bible says we shall know them by their fruits. And if your fruit is not a good fruit, why should we vote for you? And we've seen there are so many cases of criminality that have been unearthed under the elsewise President Mahama, which are now coming out. Look at all the cases that are coming out. People will say it's politics, it's political press. It's not political press. If the things didn't happen, they won't get to the courtroom, the criminal courtroom. Oh yeah. So neither of them are any good. Their track record is not good. Whether it's MPP or NDC in its current iteration, in their current iterations, none of them are any good. So let's don't vote for them. Let's vote for the best for Ghana. Look, who would go and buy a product that is not going to work for them? They'll go for the product that works. So why would you go and buy a product that is broken down or it's not going to be optimal? Electing a president, you have to elect a president that is going to do optimal work. Has got the right heart. Is the chosen one of God. Look, let's don't get it twisted. In this upcoming election, if God was choosing and was looking, and God looks at the heart, not your bank account, not the outside, He looks at the heart. The person with the right heart to lead Ghana to victory, to lead Ghana to become the best that Ghana can become in this current time, who has got the plan, the great transformational plan, is Alan John Kwejo Chiramatin. Full stop. There's no one else. No contender. There is no contender. Let's not get it twisted. There is no contender. Alan is the best for Ghana. And it's not partisan. Yes. So what has happened in him being thrown out and him having to resign because of the shenanigans, the dubious shenanigans of the MPP leadership, current MPP leadership, was the right thing for Alan to do. Yes. He has proved that he's a man of integrity. Yes. There's so much a man can take. He has tried over the years, despite all the, shenanigans that went on. sabotage that went on over the years against him. Look, when you're a man of integrity and you don't condone bribery and corruption, people don't like you. Even if they're like around you, they're just around you because most people have criminal intentions. If they can steal, they will steal. And unfortunately, if you look at the current crop of politicians, majority don't have a heart of service. They have a heart of stealing. Or they have a heart of thieves. They don't have a heart of service. I will conclude the discussion here. If you like this type of content, like, share, subscribe, comment. See you in the next episode. Bye for now.